Ladies and gentlemen, we are here for round 4 here in China for European Race Night Division 1, and I am certainly looking forward to this one. Some big names on the track this week, including 2 esports drivers here in China. I am certainly looking forward to this. I'm Dave Zero, your lead commentator tonight, and alongside me, Mr. ERN Storm. How are we doing today, Storm?
I'm doing just fine. You?
I'm good sir. Very looking forward to seeing what we have today, as the first man out on track is Alan in that Haas. So he's the first man to be setting a time today here in China. How are you feeling with China this week, David? Are you enjoying it or hating it?
I'm not sure actually. So. I dropped ABS this week too, so trying to get used to that, and well, it's a good racetrack. I like proper racetracks.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly better than what we had last week in Hanoi, which was just a crazy week for every single division.
Division 1 chat saying rain.
Ooh, so we have information of rain. Let's see if I can get some further information. You'll hear my keyboard in the background. I do apologize. Let me just find out.
Interesting.
Some more information. Alright, there we go. Just asked Division 1 chat there. Is it raining for the whole race, heavy, or is it light rain? Is information we would like to know, as Alan is on the back straight. Cars now going in, coming out for their outlaps. Currently, right now, I think behind him we do have the Mercedes of, it's not Cannavaro, so that will be Vivid, sat behind Alan. But let's see, let's go on board now with Alan in the Haas. He's starting his flying lap as he steams now towards turn 1. Let's see how he does it and how does he cope with this. This is a really tricky braking zone. You can brake too much, you've got to ease that braking all the way through, and the steering gets that nice into turn 2, then into turn 3 to get the car rotated. Goes down to first, second and third in the upshifts, going back down the straight now. Let's see a little bit of a kink in this straight and into the hard braking zone here of turn 6. As he goes into the hairpin, gets that nicely turned around, runs it out wide up into 6th gear. Now this you can take flat if you've got a decent setup, and it looks like he does have a decent setup planted there through that corner, and then into the braking zone and into another double left-hander here in the tricky part of sector 2 as he runs it out wide, gets a nicely run out wide, doesn't invalidate on the exit as we come into another one of these horseshoe corners. As he does he get the turn in right? Yes, he does. And then in to the next corner, gets that nicely done also, as he now on the exit. Got to be careful here on the exit as the car does like to squirrel and slide a little bit under throttle as he now heads towards the long back straight, DRS enabled, and gets that little boost of extra power from that wing, providing that slipstream to be with less drag as he heads into the hairpin, gets that turn down into first, get the rotation, second into third, and heading towards the final corner on this track. Let's see what he's going to put as his benchmark time. Runs it wide, car gets a little bit unsettled on the curb, comes across the line, and it's a 29.7 to start us off here today. What is the Mercedes of Vivid going to do in comparison? And he's invalidated his lap, so he won't be getting a time in, and his FRA Blackie is the next person. Now he's in 17th, not set a time yet. The only man to set a time so far is Alan. Into the final corner, locks up, runs it wide, doesn't invalidate it, and comes across the line and does a 29.6, 6/10 quicker. The next is the Mercedes of St. Clear. St. Clear is going to come across the line, goes third with a 30 flat. The next across the line is going to be, I think, of the Alfa Romeo of Jasper, and his lap time was invalidated. The Renault now coming across the line, I think that was of Daventon, invalidated too. But Fandium, one of our division esports drivers, should I say, coming in here today in China. What's he going to do for his first lap? He does a 31.2, whereas Keneal's just starting his hot lap at the back there. Danny Wick comes across, does a 57.4, so backs out of that lap. Bruno Will is on a lap, got a little bit of a toll there of his teammate in the other racing point, but let's see who else is going to be closer to the line. I think the closest person is actually going to be Keneal. He's in the Red Bull. Let's see what he's going to do here. He's currently in the final corner. Let's see where he's going to put this car. Runs a bit wide, lucky not to invalidate it there by Keneal, And he goes on provisional pole with a 29.4. What's Bruno Will going to do? Bruno Will with a 29 dead in the racing point. 4 tenths quicker than any other person on track. So a big lap time there from Keneal. There's Presto with a 29.3 in the other Red Bull going ahead of Keneal. So the two Red Bulls tightly packed together here so far. Davinson's invalidated this attempt. Levi is currently on a lap. Jasper is down the back straight, but he looks like he's coming in this lap. Dave Romulus is now on the back straight too. Let's see what he's going to do here. Heading towards the final hairpin on this track in the heavy braking zone here. Locks up on the front right, goes a little bit too deep there. Tries to get the up into third to get the exit, or now into sixth, heading towards the final corner for his banker lap. Into fourth, runs it a little bit wide over the curb and backs out of that before the line, and that will be a 31.1. So it definitely was a quicker lap, but decided to back out of it there just at the end. A very interesting qualifying session so far, David.
Yes. Thankful, 29 dead.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Unbelievable lap time there from from Bruno, as his teammate of Levi in the other racing point is just in the final corner now. Let's see what he's going to do here for his banker lap. Ooh, car getting a bit unsettled there on the turf. Where does he put it? It's a racing point 1-2 right now with a 29.2. A really strong showing here in the first rounds of qualifying, and Racing Point are certainly on top at this moment in time.
Question is when it's going to start to rain.
So I have further information on that.
Yeah, Gibber wrote in chat rain at the end.
I have further information on that, David. It is heavy rain 45 minutes in. So we're going to have this crossover point, David, between dries into inters and then into full wets. This is going to be a very, very interesting race, to say the least.
Wow.
China really likes to cook something up with Division 1 there, David. We had Bruno Will last... It certainly is. We had Bruno Will last year, David. Absolutely blowing his tyre out on the last lap, and if some of the viewers may remember, me and you went a little bit insane. It may have been a day I might have been a bit drunk after a Liverpool match, but we say no more. We say no more on that. But it really does like to cook up a storm here, does China, for Division 1, and once again, now with rain, it's going to be very, very interesting. As we now have the Renault of ERN Hamilton currently out there on a lap, and apparently this game has set the fastest sector so far. Apparently to the game. I mean, I don't ever believe it, but apparently to the game he has. He's done a 23.6 in the first sector, and then a 26.8 in the second sector. So it's looking like a very nice lap here for Hamilton. He's currently out there on the sauce and now in to the difficult throttle zone of the final corner before the big straight, as he now heads into DRS. Let's see how this is going to do. And I've just realised, David, as probably you and the rest of the stream, my microphone was a mile away from my mouth, so it probably sounds a lot closer now, I imagine.
Davidson just started his lap.
Davidson and the other Renault just starting his lap, but the other Renault of Hamilton is just finishing his. Where's Hamilton putting it? Hamilton's putting it P5.
Nice.
With a 29.5. Again, another good bank lap there from some of these drivers. Let's see where Davidson is. Davidson is in the first corner. Any other drivers just ahead of him? Let's have a look. Blackie's just ahead of him. Allen is just coming into the hairpin now in the Haas. Whereas Brown is in turn 1 and he's invalidated. Allen now on the exit of the hairpin. He's coming in to the final corner. Let's see what he's going to do. He's the first man out on track and the first man to take provisional pole. Where's he going to put it? Allen goes second with a 29.2.
Nice.
Still nowhere near Bruno Will. Bruno Will got that 2/10 margin on his first lap. Blackie's off the track. Blackie is off the track in sector 2 in the double and the exit, the double left-hander, and unfortunately on that run has just binned it, unfortunately. So a big shame for him. Brown invalidated. Davidson's in the final corner. Let's see where this Renault's going to go. BRL Davidson, where's he putting it? He puts it on provisional pole by 0.4 of a second and beats Bruno Will in spectacular form. The Renault is battling the racing point. It's Brazil against Brazil, and Davidson comes out on top at the moment. A big lap there. Wow!
Wow.
A huge lap from Davidson. That was absolutely insane. Finding is currently on a lap. He's down in Sector 1. His teammate has just started his flying lap in the other Ferrari. Wilson is in Sector 2. Blackie Rideau crashed out, so he won't be setting a time on this lap. Keneal's in the back straight. Presto's at the start. And Bruno Will has also started his flying lap. So this is going to be a battle of Goliaths. Keneal down at the hairpin now. Can Keneal improve on his time? Currently with a 29.4 in that Red Bull, and invalidates it on the final corner, and it would have been a 29 dead, which would have put him P2. So it was a strong lap from Keneal, but a big shame there on that exit. Here is Bruno Will now. He is coming down to the hairpin. Let's see what he's going to set here. In the Racing Point, our Division 1 champion last season will be wanting to take the crown again this season. He'll be wanting to stick it on provisional pole. Can he challenge Davidson? Let's see. No, he can't. 28.8. 2/10 quicker, but he's still 2/10 off Davidson. Finding Young goes to 29.1 in the Ferrari, and he goes into P3. And this is shaping up to be one of the best qualifying sessions we've had, David, here in Division 1.
Wow. We need Jasper on C-Takes to get the lap in. Come on, guys.
Here's Presto. Presto improves, but less than half a second improvement, which doesn't move in many places. Danny Rick is coming across the line now. Where does he put it? He puts a P5 with a 29.2. A very nice lap there from himself. I think that is a Racing Point of Levi. Yes, it is. Levi, Bruno Will's teammate, DRS enabled, coming across the line. Where's he putting it? He puts it second, beating his teammate of Bruno Will, and he is now a 10th off Davidson. But that is going to be a tall order to beat from the person who's sitting on provisional pole right now.
Wow.
Now the last man out there on a flying lap by the looks of it is Jasper. Jasper's now in the hairpin. He's not set a time yet. He's down in 17th place coming into the final corner. Oh, he's looking up to invalidate it. Big slide on the car. And he backed out of that lap, and he backed out with a 30.7. So he was on for a very nice lap time there. But the car backing out majorly in that last section, and a big shame for him.
Oh, C-Takes invalid.
Big shame there for Z-Tex in the Williams. Invalidated his attempt. Currently on the back straight as all the drivers now get ready to come into the pits, get their tyres changed, and go out for their final runs. I mean, a crazy session we've seen so far, David. Who do you think is going to take pole position here?
Wow. I don't know. I have to say Bruno. It's not the first time he found a couple of more tens in the last try.
No, certainly not. He is a man who certainly performs under pressure, is Bruno Will, as everybody's in there currently in the pits for their tyre changes. I think that Davidson time, David, is a very strong time to beat.
Yeah.
And Bruno is 2/10 off that time, and Levi is the 10th. What's to say that Davidson, who's just gone out on his outlap, is not going to put an even better time in? And that's going to equal to Bruno trying to shave 3/10 or 4/10 off that time just to beat him.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting, this.
Yeah, Massey, you know what, Massey? I think I completely agree with Massey's prediction. Massey says Bruno, I'm saying it completely wrong. Davidson, Bruno, and finding his top 3.
Oh, interesting.
So I think the exact same. But Levi is looking very, very strong in the other Racing Point too. So Racing Point being a force to beat here in Division 1 today. As the first person to cross the line here for the last laps here in our qualifying session in China is going to be Brown, as he's done a 45.5. So hasn't just managed to get that lap in yet, but he's starting right now in the AlphaTauri. So he will be the first man to do this last qualifying run here today. Behind him, we have Davidson coming down the back straight currently. He will be the person after that. And also, by looks of the Alfa Romeo of Blackie. So them two will be close together, but we'll stay with Brown at the moment to see what he is able to do. But a very interesting qualifying session. I just don't know who's going to come up on top, David. I really don't.
It's going to be really interesting. I'm riding along with Vivid. He needs a lap.
Yeah, he certainly does not set a time yet, Vivid. Neither has Z-Tex in the Williams. The Mercedes and Williams really needs to get that time in. Brown is just coming down the back straight now. He's a 10th up on his time, David, which is very interesting considering he has set a 145 and is only a 10th up. He gets a bit of slipstream there of his teammate Danny Rick in the other AlphaTauri as he now heads towards the hairpin. He's gets into the braking zone, into second, gets it turned around nicely there, into third and up into fourth to get the traction down. Let's see what he's going to do here in the final corner. Gets it turned in, don't invalidate it, he doesn't. Comes across the line, where does he put it? He puts it fourth! Wow. With a 28.8, a big lap there for Brown, and that is exactly what he needed. What is Davidson doing? Davidson is the next person to come across the line here. Let's see what he is going to do here. He is currently on provisional pole, but can he improve on that time? We shall see now, ladies and gentlemen. And what is it going to take to beat this man here today? Coming in towards the hairpin, a heavy braking zone, locks up on the front right into third and up into fourth for the traction zones. Let's see what he's able to do. Into the final corner. Don't invalidate it. He's gone wide. He's not managed to... Oh, he has invalidated. No. Davidson won't get another run in. And Bruno and Evansy are both behind each other there in the racing points. Could there be some team play here for a slipstream for Bruno? We will soon find out. Find the is currently out there on a lap time also. Let's see who else is currently on a lap down there. I can see McLaren, the Renault, did a 29.4 of Hamilton. There's Sinclair with a 29.6 in the McLaren. The next car, I think, is actually going to be Find a Yorma, but yes, he will be the next car to come across the line. Or is it his teammate, in fact? No, it is his teammate of Days Rhombus. Let's see what he is able to do. He's done with 30.4, has Days Rhombus in the Ferrari. Let's see what he is going to do. Currently up into third gear, got some traction out of the hairpin. Let's see what he's going to do here as he enters the final corner, gets it as wide as he possibly can and gets a nice exit there. Days Rhombus puts it fifth with a 28.9. What can his teammate do? Find is currently on a flying lap into sixth and then across the line. Find goes third. 28.8. Where's Bruno? Bruno is currently down the back straight. Let's see what Bruno and Levi can put in. There's C-Tex with a 28.8 also. Look how close it is here in Division 1. Levi's on the exit of the hairpin. He's less than a 10th up. Can he challenge Davidson for pole position as he's got DRS heading towards the line? No! He misses out by less than a 10th. Here's Bruno, and Bruno invalidated it on the last corner. And Davidson is on pole position in China. Wow. Oh, wow. Keneal disqualified from the session and will be starting at the back of the grid. FRA Keneal has been disqualified from the session and will be starting at the back of the grid for this race. A big shame there for Keneal. And you know what? That isn't actually the first time it's happened to him in qualifying. This game really doesn't like Keneal.
No, I agree.
But wow, oh wow, what a qualifying session we had here. Ladies and gentlemen, absolutely insane qualifying session. And that has wrapped it up for us here today. Wow!
Bruno will be fine.
Wow, David.
You're not used to that.
No. Bruno Will's nowhere near the top 3. What's going on? Look how close it is, David, in the times. Look at those 28.8s.
Wow.
4 drivers there in the 28.8s. But let's give a quick rundown. It's Davidson on pole position in the Renault. Levi in the Racing Point in second. Fandom in third place. Zetex in fourth. Bruno Will in fifth. Sixth is Brown. Seventh is Days Rhombus. Eighth is Presto. Ninth, Allen. And 10th is Danny Rick. Outside of the top 10 is as follows. Blackie, Hamilton, Wilson, Sink, Vivid, ABL Connemara, Jasper, Keneal, and that is rounding up the back of the grid. And a big shame for Keneal there, getting disqualified.
Yeah, I mean, Codemasters, strange stuff happened.
Absolutely insane qualifying session here today for Division 1. I mean, this track serves up a lot of what's the word I'm looking for here? A lot of controversy, a lot of controversial stuff, issues. Also causes excitement racing. I mean, look out there, David. It does not look like it is going to rain in the race as we have been told by the drivers. Look at it out there. It looks a beautiful day. That's British summer. That's British summer. That is.
If it's British summer, it will start to rain soon.
You know what? Actually, yeah, fair point. This is Silverstone all of a sudden. This is what it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, we got Bruno down there in fifth. We've got Fandom in third. We've got Davidson on pole. We've got Levi in second. It's an insane front row and front top of the grid we have. Even at the back of the grid, we've got Keneal, who could make a very, very good drive. I mean, am I right in saying the strategy around here is still, the best strategy is still medium to hard?
Yeah, it is.
So Keneal's in a prime position there, David, and like this is gonna sound like really egotistical, and I don't really mean it to, but last season, David, I messed up my qualifying in Division 3, and I went from the back of the grid to winning by 20 seconds, but just because I didn't have to pit again.
Yeah.
Could something like that happen to Keneal? I mean, I know it was Division 3 and blah de blah, but could Keneal do that here?
Maybe, but today we have rain also, so yeah, we don't know what Codemasters did to him, but no idea. Will disconnect or yeah, no idea. But he will have traffic and rain. I'm not sure if it's a good idea to start at the back. If it was dry, yeah, sure, not a bad thing. But yeah, we will see.
Yeah, I mean, we still don't know. We have been told it's going to be heavy rain 45 minutes into the race. Now, this could be an awkward point of the transition from softs or mediums, whatever tyre they're on.
Yeah.
It can be a very awkward point from the dries into the inters and then into full wet. Whoever gets that prediction and that strategy right will win this race hands down. But if you get it wrong, it is going to cost you a lot of time here today.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of different strategies. Probably the one stop is going to be faster, but soft hard. I'm not sure if it's doable. I don't know. Yeah, probably for these guys, but yeah, we'll see. I've heard a couple of people saying they were doing 2 stops, not Division 1, but other divisions. But yeah, nice to mix it up a bit.
Yeah, I've got information here from just looking at the stream chat from Connemara. And Connor R says would have possibly been a pole lap, but lifted off to try and start outside the top 10, and I messed it up a lot. That is why Connor R is starting down in 16th place. That is a big mess up there from Connor R, from going from a pole lap to trying to get outside the top 10. What did you just stop on track? What did you do, Connor? What? I'm confused.
We have to ask him later.
Yeah, definitely. So, David, your predictions for this race, good sir?
I would say Bruno Will, Davison, Finn Fedayan.
Bruno, Davidson, Fanny, interesting. I'm just looking here. Proven Light says Davidson, Fanny, Bruno. So it seems to be a reoccurring theme here with those three drivers. I think. See, I've seen Bruno and Fanny both race in the wet. I've never seen Davidson race in the wet. I'm gonna go Fanny, Bruno, Davidson. That's the way I'm gonna change it up. I think Fan De Jong certainly has the pace. I mean, we got to remember, boys, we got two esports drivers racing in this division. One is starting at the back, so that'll be one to keep an eye of in Keneal. He got disqualified during qualifying, which was a big shame. And we've also got Fan De Jong racing here today. So it will be very interesting to see what is going to happen in this race. A lot of interesting possibilities, especially once again with this rain coming in.
This always makes a big difference. What lap should I pit on? How much do I lose if I stay out another lap? And yeah, interesting.
Yeah, definitely so. I'm just having a quick...
Your mic is sounding strange when you start the broadcast.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me see if I can fix that. Right, how's that, David?
Same.
What is it, like buzzing or?
They said your mic is fine on stream. Strange.
David Storm is crackly.
Oh my god. Okay, I go to bed, guys. Okay. See you later.
They've literally just played the Uno reverse card on me and you. You accuse me and then they go.
As soon as you start to talk, it's like you're outside in the winter.
Interesting. Let me just check the stream, guys. Sorry for these technical difficulties. Bear with us, guys. Right, I'm not 100% too sure because everything on the settings is okay. Let me just ask somebody. I don't understand what it is.
So, directly when you start to speak, it's...
Yeah, right, okay. David, you just want to try the whole typical uninclude, reinclude your audio?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's back on.
Right, hopefully that should fix it. We'll try, but if it isn't there, apparently it's not major anyway, so we just wanted to try and
probably
get it good.
Xbox Party Chat, but let us know if it's too bad.
Well, hopefully we'll be changing all that soon and going in a different direction. I think some of the viewers will be interested to hear. From what I've got planned, ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a big surprise whenever this comes back in. But we are now about to get underway here. We've got 10 seconds until the formation lap, but let's see what is going to happen here, as we are now 5 seconds away from the formation lap. The predictions are in. The strategies are definitely not going to be in for this race. We have no idea how unpredictable this race is going to be, with rain expected near the end, and that is going to play on some of the drivers' minds here when they picked their tyres to start on. And I'm looking, everybody outside of the top 10, David, apart from Isaac, started on hards. Now that's an interesting call, because if they go from the hards all the way up until when it starts to rain, then they certainly can do a one-stop from hard to wet or hard to winters. The soft runners are going to have a big issue.
Yeah, they have to pit. But the people who starts on hard might make it.
It's going to be... David, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to even predict here. You can't predict these changeable weathers. Apparently, you can do the one-stop here of soft to hard.
And also, you can't trust Jeff. I mean, apparently he's confused sometimes. Rain in 10 minutes. Next 30 seconds, the sky open up.
Yeah, he does get... I mean, we shouldn't give him the bottle before we go out there, but we always give him a bottle of vodka just to make sure, and I think that's what causes some of the issues that he says.
Yeah, probably.
But apparently, to the pit strategy little box that we see, David, apparently you can do the soft to hard here, and I'm not too sure about that one, but I'm pretty sure it is very, very hard to do.
Yeah, I've actually done like 3 Grand Prix in China this weekend, but I've tried some different strategies, and I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet.
No, it's going to be a very interesting one here, David, as Davidson takes us back towards the grid. Everything is set. The preparations are ready to go. There's nothing the drivers can do now. It's all down to them, as Isaac Andre lines us up at the back of the grid now with the Haas car. Him and Keneal starting on the back row.
Oh, no.
Everything is ready to go.
No safety calls now, guys.
Please be safety cars, because then that brings the rain quicker, David. We like seeing things. As the drivers are getting ready to go. The lights won't go out when they say to go out. We know that glitch already. But we are here. We are European Race Night. We are here to get ready for Division 1 here in China. As the drivers are loading in now. We're waiting to go. Come on, Goldmasters. As the drivers are now revving up. It's ERN, European Race Night, Division 1 here in China. Davidson on pole. It's lights out. And away we go with a poor start there for the AlphaTauri. That was a really bad start there. Levi gets a decent start. He's into P2. Z-Tex is going side by side with Fandium. He's on the inside line. Fandium on the outside line. The Williams versus the Ferrari. And the Ferrari looks like to get to go back down the inside as hard as he can. They're fighting here, Fandium and Z-Tex. And he's going side by side with him. Gets a nice exit there. Doesn't find the heading into the hairpin. Let's see what's going to happen there. There's a Red Bull of Keneal further back. Looks like he's in the barrier, and Z-Tex goes down the inside of Fandium, and he gets that move done. A brilliant move there from Z-Tex.
Time. Oh my god, look at Isaac Andre. He's P11 after 3 turns.
What a start! And he's going round for P10.
Oh,
he's going round the
God.
inside. He's going down the inside of Blackie. He's going for it.
Did he
from
send it?
last into the points. And now Isaac Andre. What a start
Wow.
that man has got.
Wow.
What an unbelievable start Isaac Andre has had from last into P10. And a mega start. Here's Presto on Alan. Let's see what Presto's going to do. He's currently in 8th. Oh,
no.
There's Bruno and Fandium. Here we go, side by side. Bruno versus Rhombus. Sorry, this time Ferraris are next to each other. I apologize. Bruno now trying to defend from these Rhombus, and he does defend from Rhombus as Hamilton and Blackie. These two are side by side. Blackie on the outside, Hamilton on the inside line. And let's see, these two still side by side. And there is Hamilton pulling back into the slipstream of Blackie. Let's see if he's going to make a move into turn one. He doesn't make a move into turn one and backs out of that one.
Keneal got damage.
Keneal picked up damage too, so a bad start there for Keneal. A really bad start as Pittman and Hamilton. These two are battling in the Renault and the Mercedes. Hamilton looks like he's got the inside line now, heading towards the hairpin. Let's see where he's going to put it. Hamilton goes down the inside. Can he make that move? There's also Jasper making a move down the inside there on St. Liam. Does Hamilton get it? Hamilton does get it. Having a look at Jasper now. Jasper behind St. Liam. He's got Brown in the AlphaTauri right behind him. They're trying to make a move on him. And luckily, no moves were sent there and no damage was caused. Look at that, David, right at the top. 1.2 second gap Davidson has to Levi currently, trying to pull and stretch that to get outside of DRS, which is enabled next lap.
Interesting.
But still a mega start as Conrad gets past Brown there in the AlphaTauri. A mega start there from Isaac Andre, last on the grid, all the way up into P10. A mega start from him. Brown and Conrad, them two are still battling further back, and that is Brown going back through and reclaiming 17th place there from Conrad as Jasper is all over the back of St. Liam in the Alfa Romeo. He's in the slipstream, he's got overtake enabled, he's trying to get this into turn one, he's looking at the outside line here. Hard compound tyre versus hard compound tyre, and St. Liam defending on the inside, pushing that Alfa Romeo as wide as possible, and the Alfa Romeo tucks back in, and Jasper stays in 16th place for now. Does Jasper try and make a move here into the hairpin? No, he's way too far back to even consider that anywhere close to making a move, and he stays there. DRS has now enabled this lap. A lot of drivers still in this train here behind Levi, but Davidson has gone down the road and is now 1.6 seconds clear of Levi. So Levi could be in a lot of trouble here from some of the guys behind him, especially down that back straight. Zetex, he is the man who will get DRS first, and he's used a lot of VRS here, catching up and trying to stay with Levi by the looks of it. He's in DRS now. Findium is also in DRS on Zetex, and he is closer. Here he comes, Findium. Had a little look, didn't go for it, and probably a smart decision there from Findium, but we'll have to see what happens with this pack later on. Let's just have a look further down. Any drivers looking to try and make a move. Jasper and St. Liam, these two side by side. Jasper on the inside line pushes St. Liam wide and gets that move done as Zetex comes into the pits, David.
Oh. Damage.
I think that is front left end plate damage. Can you just keep an eye on him, see if there's a wing change?
Yep.
Isaac Andre moving up into P8 there, gets past Danny Rick, and he moves up into P8. A fantastic start once again
no wing.
Isaac Andre. No wing, so he's going for the mediums. Interesting. An interesting decision there by Zetex to pit for the mediums very early, in fact. So he's clearly trying to do a two-stopper, but maybe thinking the rain's coming sooner than expected. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, maybe something changed.
I'm just confused, David. That's all I am. I'm just confused. Ooh, that was the Alfa Romeo of Blackie getting it all wrong coming out of the double left-hander. That's put Hamilton right onto the back of him now. They're now 3 seconds off the rest of the grid. Blackie could be in some trouble here when it comes down to DRS. Looking at up ahead on Findium. He's got DRS currently on Levi, but nobody's close enough there to make a move. Let's have a look at Hamilton. Hamilton isn't close enough to make a move here on Blackie by the looks of it. It's the McLaren on Wilson on Jasper. Oh, Jasper's there. A little bit of contact there with Wilson Findium pit. So does Presto. And a little bit of contact there from Wilson and Jasper. Jasper got all out of shape there. And there's some of the drivers now coming into the pit for those tyres.
Oh, Findium took hard.
Van der Jump took hard. Interesting to see. We'll be keeping an eye on the clouds, David, especially now we know that rain is coming in, but it still looks fairly nice out there right now. Bruno Will in third place, lead by his teammate just ahead, 2.2 seconds behind the leader of Davidson. He's really switching on the afterburners is Davidson and trying to get away from this Racing Point duo. Days Rhombus is sat behind him in fourth, 1.2 seconds off Bruno Will. You can just see them just up ahead, a little bit of squirminess there as he came out of that corner. As we now look at Connor R trying to get on the back of Brown. A lot of cars close together here, David. It's just that DRS train. It's so hard to break when you're in it. Bruno Will is now 3/10 behind his teammate now. Let's see what he's going to be able to do. DRS and Slipstream. I imagine his teammate's got 9% ERS compared to Bruno, 70%. Is Bruno going to send it down the inside? No, he doesn't, and that's an Alpha Tauri. Further back of Danny Rick, who's in the barrier. There is no wing damage there by the looks of it, which is good to see. But he has definitely had a spin as Levi comes into the pits. Bruno stays out. Days Rhombus also comes into the pits, goes deep. Alan looks to try and challenge him in the pit lane here, and Days Rhombus stays ahead. And that was a clever decision there to make there by Alan to try and fight him in the pit lane. Just have a quick look at the timing screens, and that is Wilson on the back of Vivid, and Blackie and Hamilton having a little scrap up ahead. Who's going to get a good exit here? If you get a good exit, you're going to be in for a good overtaking manoeuvre, and Blackie just couldn't get the power down there by the looks of it, and that's a big shame as his teammate of Jasper is currently behind Vivid in the Mercedes. Not Vivid, he's behind Wilson. Vivid is just ahead of him, but let's see what he's able to do here today. And just looking further back, finally and Z-Tex. These two, Z-Tex coming out in the mediums, he's 1.4 seconds clear of Van der Jump, and ABR Connor R is 7 seconds ahead of him. They're closing that gap up considering they've pitted. But the hard compound tyres are working well right now, especially considering that it's going to rain later on in this race. They could really have the perfect place to go in for.
Davidson has a big gap.
Yeah, 2.1 second gap to Bruno Will. Is this where they're going to pit? Isaac Andre, Bruno and Davidson. Davidson pits. Does Bruno? Bruno stays out.
Yeah, classic
Where
Bruno.
does Isaac? Classic Bruno indeed. Isaac stays out also. So them two staying out. Davidson comes into the pits. As that is Rhombus and Alan further back. St. Glean bets a 3 second time penalty for multiple warnings, and that is Alan moving up into 15th place and getting Days Rhombus there on those medium compound tyres. Where does Davidson come back out? I think he's going to come back out in 11th. I think Z-Tex will get him. Yes, he does. Z-Tex just gets him. And Z-Tex has done an undercut there on Davidson by 2 laps, pitting very, very early. And has now got the undercut on Davidson and moves up into net P1 after the rest of the field haven't pitted yet. Blackie and Vivid, them two had a scrap there. Blackie moving up into 4th place. Vivid looking to try and make a move on him, and he goes wide there, and he has contact. Vivid stuck his car on the inside line. There's contact there between them two, and that has sent Vivid all the way into the gravel trap. I think by the looks of it, Blackie went deep into the corner. Vivid stuck his nose down the inside line as Blackie came back on to get the apex. Vivid's car was there and there was contact, and Vivid went flying off into the gravel trap.
Ah, annoying. Doesn't look like you have damage.
No damage by the looks of it, which is good to see. He could keep on going, but that has put him now down to 16th place.
Fair play to move out of the way.
Yeah, certainly so. Here's Davidson on Z-Tex. This is for net P1. Here comes Davidson down the inside, makes that move done, and has that move done. Moves up into 9th place. But net P1 as it stands, as nobody else has pitted yet. And there's Isaac Andre and Bruno both coming into the pits now. So it's only the hard compound tyres runners that are staying. And that's Connor R going down the inside of St. Liam into turn 1. Here we go. And the Mercedes has got ahead there of the McLaren and moves up into 5th place. And it's starting to look a little bit more murky out there, David. The weather is certainly creeping in, as we've been told it will do.
Interesting.
Look how close Bruno Will came out to his teammate, by the way, David. He's just come out in front of him. Oh, and here comes Presto on Levi. Let's see if he's going to make this move done. He's looking to go around the outside of Levi. He pushes his way there. He's on the medium compound tyres. He's on the faster compound tyres. Puts overtake in. Can he get him in? No, he can't. He's got to sit back for another opportunity to arise. As the two AlphaTauris are battling at the back into the hairpin. Brown on the inside, Danny Rick on the outside. The AlphaTauris don't have contact, boys. They'll be furious with you as now Danny Rick goes down the inside, gets that move done, and the AlphaTauris continue to battle for 16th place. Looking up ahead. Got it all in 5th place. He's going to have a look at Jasper here. Backs out of that move as St. Liam rapidly approaches him in that braking zone. And Jasper, let's see how this exit comes for these guys. Jasper, Wilson and Blackie. This lead being held by Hamilton by 1.6 seconds. Davidson closing in on these guys. 2.7 seconds back off the Sink Evans, who's at the back of that pack. And Presto and Levi comes into the pits. Does Levi have damage?
Let's see.
5 second time penalty.
No.
The speed alarm retires in the pits. Big shame there from Levi, and that's a huge shame. Just having a look at Jasper. He's looking to go down the inside of the McLaren. Does he go for it? No, he doesn't. Hangs back, doesn't go for that move. And that's probably a smart decision there, as that is yellow flag in sector 1 for Levi's car down there in turn 1. Let's have a quick look on board. Bruno Will closing that gap up to Z-Tex, 7/10 behind him now, as Conrad is behind Jasper. Let's see what he's going to do here. Bruno is on the faster tyre, and he is right behind Jasper now, but Wilson is right behind Blackie. Let's see how this is going to go. Wilson looking to make a move down the inside. Does make that move and gets that move done. Does Jasper make a move here going down the inside? No, he doesn't, but Bruno's going to make it on Z-Tex though. These two side by side. Bruno on the inside line and Z-Tex looking for a switchback. No, he doesn't, and that move pays off for Bruno as Alan and Presto, these two battling. Alan down the inside line gets that move done there on Presto and moves up into 11th place as Bruno sets the fastest time of this race. He's now 2 seconds off Davidson ahead of him. Jasper's all over his teammate of Blackie just ahead of him too. But Bruno and Davidson catching up to this pack now of hard runners, and will be looking to clear them as quickly as he possibly can until Bruno can't catch up to him. Let's have a quick look on board here, and Danny Rick and the AlphaTauris, these two AlphaTauris, Danny Rick and Brown, are having a serious, yeah, they really are fighting hard with each other. Oh, that was very close there between the two AlphaTauri boys. That was a very late move. I'm really surprised there wasn't contact, and especially surprised there was no damage. That was seriously close there from Brown. That was really close. Let's have a look. Davidson looking to make a move here on Sinclair, and Bruno is closing in fast. He's nearly within a second. Here comes Davidson looking down the inside now with Sinclair as there's battles up ahead. There's further cars up ahead. This is a dangerous place to be in if you're Davidson right now. He gets that move done on Sinclair. Bruno needs to clear him as quickly as he possibly can. Davidson has all these hard runners right up ahead, and he will be looking to charge at them. Here he goes, he's charging at Blackie. He's looking to get this move done, goes down the inside, gets that move done, but he has no ERS, David. None at all whatsoever.
Wow.
Meanwhile, Bruno is sat on 77%. Typical Bruno. Here comes Davidson once again, this time on ABR Connemara. He's looking to send it. There's rain! There's rain! Rain is falling!
Wow.
Rain is falling!
Wow.
Davidson moves up into 4th. Connemara and the hard runners could be in a beautiful position right now.
Absolutely.
Yellow flag further back, and that is Keneal. And Brownlow is not Vivid. I'm not too sure what's happened there, but one of them had a yellow flag around there. I'm not too sure what's gone on. I think it may have been Brown by the looks of it, because he was right behind Danny Rick and is now behind Keneal. Bruno's going down the inside of Blackie's, looking to try and get a switch back there, looking to go down the inside here. And can he get this move done? Oh, Blackie nearly goes into the back of him. And Bruno does get that move done. And now we'll have DRS to try and charge at Connemara, but the rain is now falling. And here comes Jasper on Wilson. Let's see how this move is going to go. They've got Davidson right behind them, so they've got to be careful as the net leader is trying to come through. Oh, Bruno! That was Bruno in the background. Bruno going very, very deep there. Davidson's got past Wilson. Bruno's gone deep. St. Liam's, Etex and Blackie are all fighting for position. This is insane, and the rain is falling. Z-Tex looking to make a move here on St. Liam up the inside of the Williams, and let's see if he's got that move done, and he does have that move done by the looks of it, as the Williams tries to hang it as much as he possibly can.
This is getting real interesting.
And there is Connemara and Wilson. Connemara makes the move on Wilson and moves up into 4th place, and that's Davidson and Jasper up ahead in 2nd. Davidson makes his move, moves up into P2. It's a red on 1-2 as it stands, with some of the drivers yet to pit, but most of these drivers now, David, will be hanging it out until this weather gets to intermediates.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we were told 45 minutes into the race, David. We were only 10 laps in when it started.
Yeah, now we got the information that it's going to be heavy rain, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Skiffy's race last night in another league. No, Friday night. Was rain all race, but on dry tires.
Ooh.
Yeah, was strange.
Interesting. That's Blackie who has gone off there down at the turn before the back straight. It's Connemara and Jasper. These two are battling. Connemara has made a position. Isaac Andre is now battling, going down into turn 1. He gets that move done there on Dave Rombus. And there is, yeah, that is Jasper. Jasper off the hards. He's coming into the pit. Does he go for intermediate tyres is going to be the question as Z-Tex and FRA Wilson. Z-Tex is going around the outside here of Wilson, and Wilson is pushed into the edge here. And now we'll have the inside line with the Williams. The Williams comes down the inside line, and there's still the McLaren trying to hang with him there, and the Williams of Z-Tex makes that move and gets that move done. And Jasper does go for the inters, so the first person to go for the intermediate tyres there, David.
Interesting. I actually think it's a bit early, but we'll see.
Blackie, his teammate, is off. Coming out of that corner, so we've had quite a few spins here today, but no major damage has been caused yet. Oh! And that's Brown Lever! Brown Lever's off! DNF! He's into the barrier! And that is the AlphaTauri out of this race. Is that a safety car? If that's a safety car, that proves massive for Hamilton. And no, Vivid comes in for Inters too.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's time.
Here comes Bruno Will on Connemara. These two have had some tremendous battles last season in the Haas. So let's see what they're going to do here. Bruno gets that move done. He's on the quicker compound and he moves ahead of Connemara. So what do the front runners do here, David? Do they pit for Inters? Let's have a look. What does Davidson do? Davidson stays out. Hamilton comes in.
Whoa.
Hamilton picks his pit. Oh, nearly caught him. Connemara goes down the inside, and there's nearly spins.
Oh my God!
Oh, there's contact in the pit lane. That is a Sebastian Vettel in China once again.
Wow.
Battles happening wherever they come. And insane there. Connemara comes in for the intermediate. So will all the other hard runners. This is now chaos in the pit lane.
Wow.
Will undercuts work? Has Davidson, Bruno and Z-Tex made the right call to stay out there?
Yeah, we will see.
person I want to do look at is Jasper. Where's Jasper? Jasper's in 8th.
Yeah.
He pitted for those inters in Danny Rick retired in the pit lane, so a big shame there for him. Virtual safety car.
What?
No, I think he crashed in the pit lane, David.
Oh no!
He didn't retire in it, otherwise his car would be in the pit lane. He crashed in the pit lane, they cleared the car instantly and gave us a VSC.
Wow.
But Jasper is now in 8th place after pitting for those inters 1 lap earlier. And look how many places he's jumped, David.
Yep. Was a good call.
A very good call. This is only helping Davidson and Bruno because then everybody's going this same pace now. So this is only, nobody's going to undercut them, David, because of the pace everybody is on behind them. This has perfectly helped the front three.
Yeah.
We'll see where, there we go, virtual safety car has ended. There we go. Now we'll see what happens with the gap with these lot. Let's after these guys pit. But where are they going to pit? I imagine it's time. Davidson, let's see what he does. Let's go by Davidson. Davidson pits. What does Bruno do? Bruno pits
Oh
too.
no, Z-Tech's off.
No, Z-Tex is off. Ooh, big slides there as he tries. It's definitely time for inters. That is something I can certainly say. I imagine he might have some damage there. Where is Hamilton? Hamilton is now leading this train, David.
Wow.
The hards worked absolutely beautifully.
Look at Connor. Bottle qualifying. Now he's up there.
He certainly is. Where is Davidson and Bruno? They're on the exit of the pit lane. Davidson comes back out. They're just ahead. Hamilton jumped Z-Tex. So did Connor. I think Z-Tex had wing damage that had to be repaired.
Yeah, probably.
But Hamilton is now 9/10 behind Bruno. I mean, that VSC really helped them two massively.
Yep.
Absolutely huge there from these lot. I mean, we still could have another pit window here, by the way. We could have full wet. We were told heavy rain was coming. Now, this at the minute is only light. Let's see what happens with heavy rain as Conor will be looking to close the gap on Hamilton and try and attack Bruno as quickly as he possibly can here. This is now turned into a very strategic and timely race now, David.
Yeah, absolutely. Jasper, Connor, Hamilton, wow. Wilson too. 10, 8, 12 and 9 positions up.
It's worked absolutely beautiful for those guys on the hard compound tyres. I mean, look at Isaac Andre. He had a beautiful start on those softs, but those softs just haven't worked out for him with the strategy of the weather.
No. Yeah, when it's rain involved, it's always strange.
Here comes Conor. He's going to look to get the move on Hamilton. He switches down for the inside line, backs out of it, doesn't want to go in too deep, and stays off the back there of Hamilton, as Hamilton has now got a 2-second gap between him and Bruno. So Bruno pulling out the bag there and trying to close that gap to Davidson. Now, Bruno, if there's ever a time to use ERS, mate, I think now is the time, good sir.
Give me a second.
I mean, if most of our viewers will know at this moment in time that if with Bruno Will does have a lot of ERS at all times. I mean, look, yeah, exactly, always. And I think now, David, this is the right time to use it because you get quite a lot of ERS when you use. And that's Blackie. 5-second time penalty and a retirement in the pit lane. A big shame there for him. I mean, we don't like to see retirees in the pit lane, and it's a big, big shame there. I just noticed that, David, a question Skeefy's asking in the chat. Did both of the Alpha Tauris kill each other? Because they're both retired now.
I'm not sure.
We saw one of them crash, which caused nothing. In fact, it didn't cause anything. And I think the other one retired and crashed in the pit lane too. So maybe they had an incident with each other. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, they were fighting each other hard.
Very hard, in fact. I mean, we saw that crazy little swoop that one of them did, and That was a bit insane as Conor has now got overtaken enabled. He's in the slipstream here. He's looking to get this move done here on Hamilton. Switches for the inside line. He does. He's going to go for it now. Let's see if this is going to work out for him. He pushes Hamilton a little bit wide. Hamilton is still there though. And Hamilton hangs it around the outside perfectly and stays in third place. This is where Conor will really get a really good exit there. Does Conor actually? But unfortunately, I don't think he predicted the exit that Hamilton would get. Now alongside him, going to go round the outside into turn 1 here. Let's see how this is going to go. He's going to go deep round the outside. The Renault on the inside onto the apex. Tries to switch back and get a good exit here out of turn 2. Let's see how this is now going to go. Does he get a good exit? He really is fighting Hamilton with every inch that he has. Overtake enabled once again. Does he send it here on Hamilton? He looks, but no commitment there. Battles for the top 3 are certainly underway as Bruno tries to close in.
Looks like more and more spray.
It does. I think wets, David, around lap 20, to be perfectly honest with you. I have a feeling this is getting very, very heavy now, and the dry line is evaporating.
Yeah, it really looks like it.
As we're just on board here with Fine. He's in 6th in the Ferrari. He is currently behind the McLaren of Wilson. Everybody on the intermediate compound tyres here as Wilson.
Oh, disconnected.
He disconnected, went right in front of Fine.
What a lag.
That lag was insane. Now Jasper's that's gonna put Jasper now right on the back of Fine here, and he's got overtake enabled. He's got in the slipstream. He's gonna look to go around the outside here. Is this move gonna be done here by Jasper? A bit of wheel banging there in the mid corner. Fine squeezes him off the track, and Fine stays in 6th place. But that little lag spike there from Wilson could have hurt Fine in a significant way there.
That was terrible.
Conor once again still battling here with Hamilton, and he is seriously trying to get past Hamilton here to make the top 3 and get on those podium places, but it is certainly, David, looking wetter and wetter out there.
Absolutely.
Very quickly. Who will be the first to blink for wets is the question. Will it pay off is another big question. Have a look further back. That's Isaac Andre and Days Roberts. Them two are close together also. We've got a little bit of a train behind Wilson for 5th place. Conor is behind Hamilton for 3rd place, and Rombers and Isaac for 12th at this moment in time. But we'll keep an eye out on this little battle here of behind Wilson. We'll find young Jasper and C6, Allen and Presto all stacked behind. Bruno has now got that gap, David, to 1.2 seconds. This will be interesting. It's Conor looks like he's got a very good exit actually on Hamilton, but Hamilton has a lot more ERS than Conor. Conor's in the slipstream, but both of them are using ERS here. Let's see, can Conor make it? He looks for the outside line. Is he going to go for the outside line? Hamilton squeezes, goes for an under and over by the looks of it. Let's see if that move has done well, and it hasn't done him any good. And it looks like Hamilton will once again keep hold of P3 after Conor just sheer onslaught on him. Really, really pushing Hamilton to the limit and trying to get past him as much as he possibly can. Is he going to go for it again in turn 1? If Hamilton goes deep, there's Conor to have a look down the inside. He sticks his nose down the inside. Hamilton has to adjust, but I don't think that was the smartest decision from Conor, but he manages to keep it all in check. Now looks for an exit here on Hamilton. He unsettled Hamilton there. Going, the car slides. Manages to recuperate that. Does he go for it in the hairpin? No, he doesn't go for it in the hairpin. Stays in 4th. A really, really close race this is turning out to be, David.
Absolutely. I am all confused. Don't know where to watch. Everyone is so close together.
They really are. Bruno is nearly in DRS territory. I mean, it doesn't matter in these conditions. DRS is disabled, but he is nearly now within that 1 second. Conor, this has to be it now for Conor. Hamilton, though, has 90% ERS compared to Connor's 30%.
Wow.
That is a huge, huge difference there, David. That could really help Hamilton keep hold of P3 here. Well, David, I think it's time for wets.
Yeah,
It looks
it's really
very,
wet.
very bad out there. Cars are really getting unsettled out there by the looks of it. Here comes Conor. He sweeps for the outside line. Does Conor? Hamilton goes to cover him off. And here comes Conor. Conor gets squeezed out onto the curb. And now tries to get an exit. But it looks like Hamilton once again keeps hold of third place. But nobody as of yet boxing for the wets. Nobody wants to blink yet for the wets. But it looks very, very, very bad out there, those conditions.
Yeah, it really does.
Let's just have a quick look here. Conor 2 tenths behind now. Ooh, I think Conor had a little bit of a sketchy moment there. A lot of these drivers now really struggling to put power down. David, if this is you, do you box for wets?
I think so. It's time. It looks like it.
I mean, whoever makes that call now, David, it could either win you the race right now, or it can really backfire and put you at the back of the grid.
Oh,
it's just so tough to call.
Yeah.
8 laps to go. Bruno is now within a second, David. He's now within 8 tenths of Davidson.
Wow.
Davidson has 35% ERS, Bruno has 70, and David, look, well, it did say it there for a second, overtake was enabled on Bruno's car for once. He had it for one. No, it's insane, right?
It worked.
I always thought it was broke. It actually works. Conor looking to make a move here, but Findingham's looking to make a move here. Oh, Wilson looks for it, backs out of it, and he is under some serious pressure here. Is Wilson from Findingham, Jasper and C-Tex. He's under some serious pressure right now. As now here comes Bruno Will. 3 tenths now here behind Davidson. I mean, David, you can't even see some of the apexes.
Oof.
It's seriously wet out there now.
Yeah, it is. But also, as Giffy is telling us in chat, risking track position now is...
Yeah, it's very bad to risk track position. But look at the train we have, though, Dave. Look at your mini-map.
Yeah.
Look at the train we have behind Hamilton for third. Third place, all stacked up. And Hamilton, it's not like Hamilton's been defending. He's been defending very hard to keep this place against Conor. And I think Conor's numbers up a little bit here.
But still, look at,
trying to get past Wilson.
Look at his ERS, 80%.
Yeah. And compared to Conor's 30%, he's really defended well as Hamilton. And
let's see if Bruno is going to use his ERS.
Oh, let's see if the button works. Let's see if the button works this time.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it does. He's using it. Here we go. Slipstream enabled. He's got slipstream and the overtake enabled, but without DRS, David, at this close, he's just unable to do so. Look how far back he is. He's just not able. He needs that late braking zone. Oh, Bruno. Bruno. That was very close indeed. As I'm just looking on board with Z-Tex. Is he going to look for a move on Jasper? No, he doesn't. And Findingham doesn't make a move on Wilson either. I think some of the drivers are just a little bit too scared to make that move, especially in these conditions, as Davidson tries to break the toe on Bruno Will. Bruno was really trying to put pressure here on his Brazilian counterpart. And that's Alan and Z-Tex. These two are battling here. Oh, they're in the barrier!
Oh, no.
That's insane! What has happened to Alan and Z-Tex? A little bit of contact. They both went squirming into the barrier at high speed at the start of the braking zone. That was insane. What I think the Haas car went into the air above the Williams. That is a virtual safety car, and that is absolutely an insane crash. A crash that shouldn't have happened, but unfortunately has.
Canil.
And there is full wets.
Yeah,
full wets for Canil.
Wow, how is that
I can't
only a
believe that's only.
VSC?
Yeah, you literally just took the words out of my mouth, David. How is that?
What's wrong with your
virtual safety? A virtual safety car in the wet, in these conditions, and with that kind of impact. What a crash that was!
Wow.
A huge hit back there for Alan. And there's a drive-through penalty for Isaac for speeding under virtual safety car. Bruno is now 2 tenths behind Davidson. He got the restart perfect. He's in overtake. He's in the slipstream. Let's see if he's able to challenge his Brazilian counterparts. Wets have gone on some of the drivers. Does he go for the wets here? Bruno goes down the inside on Davidson.
I wonder
and does he
if
get the move? There's no contact.
I wonder if those two are in the same party.
Davidson gets the traction out of the corner and Davidson stays in P1, but for how much longer? Because Bruno is looking to challenge once again. He's looking to go down the inside line. He's got the outside into turn 1. He's going for it here. Brazil versus Brazil. Renault versus Racing Point. Bruno goes down the outside. Car will have the inside line, and he is trying to attack his Brazilian counterpart. Davidson defending with all of his might, and here goes Davidson, and he stays in P1.
I was just going into Bruno and see who he is in party with, and guess who?
Is he with him?
Yeah.
Finally on, looking to go down the inside of Wilson. Could Wilson's time be up? He's looking at the inside line. He goes for it, pushes Wilson a little bit wide by the looks of it, but finally on moves up into 5th place. Oh, these two, the Renault and the Racing Point, Brazilian and the Brazilian, are seriously scrapping here right now. But I've just looked at what Skeefy's saying about Keneal. Keneal is dropping that time, and he looks a little quite quick on those wets, David. Maybe wets are the option, but we have 5 laps left. Would you seriously risk it right now?
Probably not.
Bruno not able to get onto the back, but Jasper is all over the back of Wilson. He's got overtake enabled. He's in the slipstream. He's looking to go down the inside line, and he has gone down the inside line here. And will he get the braking zone? He cuts him off, squeezes Wilson, and he does. Moves up into 6th place, does Jasper, and gets ahead of Wilson now. Neo saying, I'm going to need a drink. Neo, I've already gone through all my drink this race. I need more. That's the issue. I think I need something very strong after this race. That strong that they call it whiskey. I think I need after this race. Connor R is right on the back of Hamilton still. Days Rhombus. St. Clean pits, David, for wets, I imagine.
Oh, yeah.
That could be a very, very big call there. A very big call as Presto is now on the back of Wilson. Is Presto going to look down the inside into the hairpin? He is. He sends it, does Presto. Down the inside into the hairpin. That's very, very close between both drivers. Wilson defends well, though, as Isaac Andre gets ahead there of Sinclair. But David, it has to. I'm pretty sure now the people making the wet choices have made the right choices, but that's if everybody else is going to do it, because it looks very, very slippery out there right now.
Oh yeah, it does. It really does. Hamilton is doing such a great job. I mean, keeping a driver like Connor behind you. Wow.
Yeah. A very, very good job. And he's looking at him. He's at 100% ERS, David. He's not using it. I don't imagine they will want to use it in this weather. But he's just using it where Connor can attack him, and that is down the straight. And he's got so much more ERS than Connor. He can just flick it on and not have to worry about it. He is seriously in a fantastic position here. Connor really has been struggling to get past Hamilton these past few laps. As I'm looking at Presto. Ooh, Presto losing the back end there. And Presto and Wilson, these two battling still as well. I mean, you've got the guys up ahead of Connor, of Davidson and Bruno Will battling. We've got Connor R battling with Hamilton, finding almost 1.6 seconds off that battle too. And it's just very interesting how this is going to end up finishing, David. 4 laps to go. how is this going to end? I have no idea.
It's interesting for sure. Finn de Jong is closing the gap to Connor.
Yeah, Connor needs to get this move done, and fast Bruno is falling out of that 1 second, David. He is falling a little bit out there, which is a shame to see, but I imagine he'll get back in there in no time at all. It is Bruno, of course. Let's just have a quick look. We've got quite a few drivers, apparently. Oh, no, never mind. I'm looking at something different. Ignore me. Connor, Hamilton doesn't get a very good exit there. Connor, could this be it now? Could this be it? But like I said, Hamilton can just flick on that overtake and not have to worry about it for the entirety of the straight. But Connor tries to switch back. Now looking down the inside of Hamilton here. He has got the line, but he's off the line here and now has the overtake enabled. Now in the slipstream. Now is going to be looking for Hamilton here. This could be it. Connor smells blood in the water. Is he going to go for the outside? He does go for the outside line, but he is looking like he is too far back. Hamilton defends once again, tries to switch back. Can he get the exit to challenge Hamilton? I don't think he can. Hamilton stays once again in third place. Fantastic defending once again from Hamilton. We've seen it all this race so far from him, and he is just having a fantastic defense. Finding him now is nearly within that second now, David. In fact, he is in it. Connor go! Oh! Hamilton goes wide!
Oh!
Connor is now gone down the inside. Be careful, boys.
Oh!
Be very careful, boys. They're side by side on the exit. Be careful, boys, please. Oh, Hamilton loses it. Hits the barrier. A big shame for Hamilton. Front left end plate is damaged. Big shame there for Hamilton. 3 second time penalty for Keneal. And that now promotes Connor and Finding Finding now is in a good place here to steal a podium as Presto takes the inside line on Wilson and gets past Wilson there. What an insane race this has been, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely insane. But Finding versus Connor for the podium. As Massey says, this is going to be very, very interesting. I'd love to hear the party chat right now between Davidson and Bruno Will, because I bet there is no talking in that party chat right now, David.
Oh yeah. I would love to hear what they say.
Imagine if they crashed into each other. That party chat soons into no party chat, David. It's oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Finding has to now push it. Ooh, 2 laps to go. Finding has to seriously push it now if he can challenge Connor for this podium spot. 1.1 seconds is the gap. Bruno still hanging there with Davidson. It's looking very, very hard now for those two guys up top to put some power down. They are really, really struggling. Oh, Davidson goes deep. Davidson does go deep. That could put Bruno on him a little bit more, as Bruno now is still 7/10, but he could have took advantage there. He just didn't. Jasper is on the back of Hamilton now. Hamilton with that left end plate damage. And there goes Hamilton. In fact, he goes deep. Jasper looks to stick his car down the inside. Let's see if that's going to pay off. Hamilton is squirming all over the place here. And that... Oh, Hamilton goes deep and he gets fronted by Jasper. Whoa. Jasper goes into the barrier. Hamilton keeps it on track miraculously. Somehow keeping that on track. Jasper, the big loser of it all there. Hamilton keeping it on track and saving that slide. What a job there from Hamilton to save it in these conditions, especially with end plate damage. Wow! Bruno in the slipstream of Davidson. He's got overtake enabled, but so does Davidson. 1 lap to go here, and he is just seriously trying to put pressure on his fellow Brazilian. These two have already battled in this race, and we want to see more battling here with the last lap coming. Last lap now, ladies and gentlemen, as Davidson is about to cross the line to start it. 6 tenths separate the two at the top. Finally almost dropped off by 1.5 seconds to the podium places. Presto Evans is trying to get the stricken car of Hamilton with his wing damage. Bruno is the one that we're going to be focusing on here. Both Brazilians scrambling and battling it out as hard as they possibly can here in Division 1. And what a race this has been, from softs to wets. And it's just been an absolutely insane race here today, David. We've seen a lot of clean racing also, though, so far, David.
Absolutely.
Let's just have a quick look on board with Presto. 3 tenths to Hamilton. I mean, he's right on the back of him. Hamilton seriously struggling now with that wing damage, as Presto is struggling just to get some power down there coming out of the exit of that corner. And Hamilton, one thing I've noticed with Hamilton, he seems very, very good with these exits out of the corners, David. He just seems to get that little bit more traction here compared to everybody else, which is really helping him in his defences.
Exactly what saved him from Connor passing him earlier.
Yeah. Definitely so, but you can notice that he definitely does have that wing damage, David, because he's just struggling in those corners now. I mean, look how slow he's going. Presto's all over the back of him here. He's looking to try and get this move done. Is Presto. Woo! This is a P5 position now for these guys. Wilson is looking to try and get involved in the party. Days Rhombus and St. Liam, these two are battling further back, and St. Liam on the wets moves ahead of Rhombus. As Davidson and Bruno, them two are battling. I'm just going to quickly look further back in a second, but these two are crossing the line shortly. Davidson in the Renault is coming across the line now, ladies and gentlemen. He's had a fantastic battle with Bruno, but Davidson takes P1 in China. Bruno P2. Presto is looking to make a move, does a little curve, goes down the inside, and Wilson locks up. Here comes Wilson in the McLaren. Look to try and get that move done. And Hamilton and Presto, them two are battling. Side by side, Wilson, can he take advantage of this? Wilson who gets the overtake on. Oh, Wilson nearly lost it. Wilson loses it coming across the line. Presto Evans, a 20-second time penalty for corner cutting and gaining 1 place.
Oh my god. Yep, Stu also have to look at that.
20 seconds is absolutely absurd.
Stu also needs to look at that, for sure.
That is stupid. Our stewards will certainly be looking at that. Codemasters, you need a drink and go to sleep, mate, because that is absurd. Wow, oh wow, the last man to cross the line will be Vivid in the Mercedes. Davidson wins this race in P1. Bruno will in P2. Connor R in P3. Finally Young takes P4. Hamilton P5. Wilson in P6. Jasper P7. St. Liam in P8. Days Rhombus in P9. Presto rounding up the top 10 in P10. But I imagine he will certainly be having that 20 seconds taken off, because that is absolutely insane. Connor R had such a fight against Hamilton in this race. Hamilton did so well to defend against Connor R. Even he says in the chat, there is Connor R saying couldn't get past Hamilton. He had such a great defense, did Hamilton, in this race, and boy did he show it. Until he got that wing damage, David, it was just a big shame for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there he is, Davidson on the top step of the podium, and what a race it was. Him and Bruno seriously battling with each other, and boy did both of them really take it to each other here today. Fantastic racing here from Division 1. What a race, David.
Oh, absolutely. So, drive off day for you. I've already picked mine.
Well, you go first.
Oh yeah, it's going to be Connor. I mean, from P16 to P3. Wow. That's great.
I mean, it's hard to disagree with you a little bit there, David, to be perfectly honest with you, because, yeah, he's had a fantastic race. As I just give the guys a quick rundown. Davidson, Bruno, and Connor, your top 3. Finally, Hamilton, Wilson, Jasper, St. Liam, Days Rhombus, and Presto Evans top the top 10. Outside the top 10 is as follows: Keneal, Isaac Andre, Vivid, Alan, Z-Tex, Blackie, Danny Rick, Brown, and Levi, after
don't forget the picture.
Unfortunately crashing out. I've already took them, David. That's why I was quickly saying that, because I already took them. And as you can see, are in that chat.
Yeah. I'm inviting our driver of the day for some interviews.
Some interviewers. Lovely stuff.
If he...
Get to
Oh,
speak to
there he
Mr.
is.
Honorar. See what he says.
Include your audio, mate. Good job, P3.
Good evening, Connor.
Hello.
You're also our driver of the day. From P16 to P3.
Thank you.
You struggled
So
a
how was
lot
that?
with Hamilton. He
Yeah.
looked like he got really good exits out of every corner.
He did. His straight line speed was too much to cope with, really.
Yeah, and I mean he was much higher on ERS on every straight than you were. So
Yeah.
we might have to ask him what wings he was running. 1-3 maybe, wrong setup.
Yeah, possibly. Monza.
Yeah. Time.
Well, yeah, one question I was going to ask, Connor, is you said, I saw in the chat in Twitch during qualifying, you said that you were a bit, potentially on a pole fitting lap, and you slowed down to get outside the top 10, but ended up so far outside the top 10. What happened? Did you stop on the track?
Well, when I was going out to the line, the delta was like 0.6, which was like kind of what I wanted to have, and then it dropped down even further, which kind of ruined me. But I think I was on for like a 28.6, 28.5. But yeah, it's just unfortunate, really.
Yeah, it really was. How was it out there today in those changing conditions? Would it have been wet if there was more laps, do you think?
Yeah, it would have been. It was wet conditions for the last 6 laps. I was looking at the tyre temperatures and they were blue. That's how wet it was on the inters. So yeah, it was just like an ice rink for most of that race, to be honest, on the inters.
I can imagine. Did well there to keep it on track. You really did have a really good fight with Hamilton there. Kept us entertained for quite a while there. Yeah. Congratulations on your P3 driver of the day as well from us too. David, anything further to add?
Nah. Good job, Connor.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in, Connor. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, it's alright.
Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, that has wrapped it up for us here at European Race Night. Division 1 certainly put on a show, as it always seems to us here every Sunday night. We are here tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday, all at 7:30 for Division 2, 3 and 4. Certainly looking forward to those races. Not sure about Mr. Storm though in Division 2. I'm sure he'll be wanting this one to be done over very, very quickly. Am I right, David?
Oh yeah, dropped ABS this week, so feels a bit, strange.
I will look forward to commentating of you going into the barriers. But that is going to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. My name has been Dave Zero, alongside with Mr. ERN Storm in the commentary booth. We do hope you enjoyed it here today, and we'll catch you all next time for Division 1 next week in Netherlands. So we'll see you all then. Bye bye.